Illinois is reporting the first possible death in the United States linked to e-cigarettes.
Confirmed the first
vaping-related death.
As of February 4th, 2020, 64 confirmed deaths and almost 2,800 hospitalizations were reported by the CDC, all linked to vaping. Caught early on, more awareness is being raised to the potential harm that can come from vaping, especially when introduced to young teens. With companies like Juul being put under fire for marketing to young adults, vape shops like the one behind me are being put under fire as well. Most of the harm for teens does not come from what we do know, but what we don't. The first step in making the right decisions is talking to those in the know.
A combustible product like a cigarette produces tar in the lungs, and electronic cigarettes don't. So people are like, oh, okay, it's better for you. However, there's a lot of other chemicals in electronic cigarettes that we haven't seen before used the way they're being used.
The introduction of THC, and then now we're seeing stories in other states, and hopefully it doesn't make its way here, but they're introducing heroin and fentanyl into vapes, which is fatal. So you might think you're just smoking THC or something, just a regular vape, and it might have fentanyl in it, which will kill you in small amounts.
THC, or tetrahydrocannabinol, is an agent found within marijuana that can be used medically to curb bodily pains that was legalized in 2017. No sooner than that was passed were THC vapes circulating in the market. Unless you were getting your vapes from within a shop, the content you were intaking was unknown.
I think a lot of people underestimate THC because we have medical marijuana, right? The FDA, the Food and Drug Administration, make sure all our medicine's safe for us. So every time we take a Tylenol pill, for example, it's the same dosage. Now, if someone's taking medical marijuana, they don't get the same dosage every time. And that's where problems can occur. So they're really trying to fine tune that.
The problem really came in where they were doing black market vape juices. They are completely unregulated by the FDA. Nobody really knows what kind of chemicals are in the vape juice. Specifically, when they started making THC vapes, they were putting chemicals in that were causing lung diseases.
In a health report released by the CDC, a common theme was found within the reports of lung diseases resided within the additive vitamin E acetate, which, when put inside of vapes, coats the lungs with thick liquids as opposed to letting the vapors diffuse within the bloodstream, leading to all the cases of trouble or failure to breathe. With 52% of the cases ranging from under 18 to 24, is there a reason that people still put themselves under risk for the sake of receiving unknown vape products?
So they take that connotation with it's used medicinally, so I can use it and it's going to be fine. A lot of it is people think they're invincible. Unless it happens to you, sometimes you can't relate.
It's like anything else. When it first came out, they introduced it as a safe alternative. Without doing any of the long-term studies, knowing what the effects that were going to be on the lungs, knowing what kind of chemicals that were going to be put into vape juice.
Vaping is hitting kids and adults so much faster than anything, and I think it's because it's like when cigarettes first came out, nobody knew what was in it. And I think because it has that flavor that people don't taste the nasty that is going into their lungs.
All epidemics have to hit their highest point before they can go back down. When was vaping hitting its peak, and why did it happen so quickly?
I think right now we're in our peak with what's been happening with Juul and all these new companies.
The previous 2 years. This year we've seen a decrease, and we don't know if it's because they're getting better at hiding it.
There was really no laws that targeted electronic cigarettes specifically, so it was kind of a free-for-all, which if in a peak area is the best time to do something when there's no laws, right? So with these laws coming on, we're going to see a lot of changes and a lot of regulations, which will hopefully get everything under control.
Big changes were made on October of 2019 as a national mandate was signed by Congress and passed by the president stating that no person under 21 could solicit any tobacco or nicotine products. Just how effective will this law be in curbing what is now being called a vaping epidemic?
I'm hoping it's a good thing. I'm trying to be positive with this, but we all know that drugs are illegal and kids get them. So it's one of those things that we're going to wait and see how it goes and see if the change actually helps.
Hopefully it's going to be a help. I mean, anytime that you can eliminate the possibility of anybody underage obtaining them, hopefully that should slow it down a little bit. They're also coming out with rules that don't allow the fruity flavored vapes anymore, which is what was enticing teens to get involved in the vaping.
For those that don't get it from the stores, they're still going to get it from the places that they get it from. But if they're getting it from somewhere else, then unfortunately it's not going to impact that.
With any law put in place, there are just as many of those who try to finagle around them, with some people getting as intricate as hiding vapes within timepieces. Why is this?
It's easy to go on YouTube and there's a vape store explaining why vaping's not that bad for you when they just want to make some money. When someone dies and they think it's from vaping related issues, then the CDC has to come in and verify that. So of course we want to trust government agencies.
It's really frightening to see people getting sick as fast as they are. Smoking was at an all-time low, so for vaping to just take us back how many years of good stuff to put us where we're at now, having my dad and knowing what he went through and seeing him go through withdrawal when he was sick, you know, it's a reminder, and it makes me want to smack all the kids in this building that do it.
Locally, for schools like Penn Trafford, the staff is taking precautions to make the environment more safe and comfortable for their students.
Students are bothered by going into the bathrooms because there's so many people that were doing it that it helped us realize that we needed to step up our game and crack down a little bit more.
I think the staff and the security in the school is taking a more proactive approach at watching the bathrooms, people that are in there longer than they should be.
Officer Hummert and I received grants for things that detect vaping. So we're working on getting those installed.
Again, with the vape detectors installed in the bathroom, hopefully that should put an end to it also.
With all this in mind, how can teens make the right decisions moving forward?
All we can do is just keep publicizing how bad it is to vape and smoke.
When you're looking online and looking at videos, look at your source. Are you looking at someone who's promoting vaping? So look at really your resources and make informed decisions for yourself, but make sure they're informed with the right information from the right resources.
Put the vape away before it becomes an ashtray. With more information being released on the daily by the CDC and FDA, the ball is now in your court to make as informed decisions as possible. Reporting for PTTV, I'm Rio Scarcelli.